We got Hope the Rapper is here with us.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the last 10 weeks. It's been definitely a ride.
Absolutely. I was going to say it's easy to remember when you were on last because it was, actually, it was a little over 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But this was an idea that I think you had kind of pitched it live on the show.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, let's do that. That's a fantastic idea.
Honestly, it's been the greatest experience for myself growing as an artist because it's kind of like going to the gym, honestly, for me, over the last 10 weeks, because as you release each single, you realize like your faults as an artist and everything like that. And I've gotten really to a point where I'm ready for the next phase.
Yeah. What is the next phase? What is your plans going forward?
So my next phase is kind of like an image control phase. So as a up and coming artist, I was putting up like whatever videos I can, just like putting stuff together here and there.
Yeah.
I'm actually taking the last 10 weeks to save some money. And going forward, I want to invest in like the social media aspect of things.
Yeah.
That's going to help me personally. Like, people will only come back to like people, as much as people say that they support amateurs, people don't support amateurs. People support professionals.
Now, what do you mean? Expand on that, if you would.
So it's kind of like, I actually had a conversation with somebody yesterday. It's kind of like the food truck guy in your neighborhood. So like, let's say the food truck guy, everybody knows the food truck guy. Everybody loves the food truck guy. But he just is always going to be known as the food truck guy.
Right.
Sort of like the story of like McDonald's or something like that. Whereas a small business wasn't willing to like expand, and somebody else saw the vision and expanded that business. So for me, what I need to do is not just market here in New England. I want to start like targeting everything that I'm doing in like Los Angeles, New York, and Miami.
Yeah.
And right here from New England, I'm able to do that through targeted ads. So that's kind of like an image control phase. People want to see you take that step, like
right.
that step. Like if McDonald's stayed in that one neighborhood, maybe that whole neighborhood would have loved it,
right.
But the rest of the world wouldn't be, like McDonald's wouldn't be a problem for us.
Right.
Yeah. So like you have to not just stay in your small town, you have to be willing to expand so you can see the vision.
Yeah. And of course, the internet makes it kind of easy to do that in a sense, but of course there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And you know, to your point too, I think if you're not constantly moving forward and trying to expand what you do, then you almost start to look like you're falling back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like if I like a lot of my videos that I'm just sitting in front of my desk rapping and stuff like that. Like if I just keep doing that for years and years, I'm going to be the food truck guy.
Right.
But if I can now say, hey, I have a really great job, I have some money set aside, let me invest in that, people are going to be like, oh, what's happening with him now? It creates more interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, by the way, if you have any questions or comments or feedback, anything at all for Hope the Rapper, the studio line is open. You can give us a call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. And of course, you can interact and opine in the chat room. Of course, I see B. Pinard is in there and says, good morning, everyone. And I saw somebody else in there too. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that going forward. But so what these songs, is there any kind of a theme with the 10 singles that you've premiered on the radio? Or
so the 10 singles that I've been doing is like I wanted a different sound, and then I wanted to look at the metrics without like any promotion or anything like that, and saying like, what are people listening to right now? Actually, a little bit of help that I've gotten through these 10 singles is one of Joyner Lucas's producers that helped him come up has noticed me now.
Yeah.
And now after this image control phase, during this image control phase, me and him, his name's Knox Beats, we're going to be working on an EP together. So it's
no kidding.
It's definitely a step-by-step project.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Very good. The songs that you've been premiering too over the last 10 weeks, are these on an album, or are these do they all just exist individually as singles, or are they from different places? Or
they exist individually. Cause like the EP that I have is going to have I want it to be like a movie.
Yeah.
So once I figure out the sound, like what people are listening to, what people like from me, I do like to, like when I rap, I do like a conscious group. So I would like to go towards that direction and like be more of like somebody who speaks about like being more of a world together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And can you tell us too about some of the people you collaborated with on these?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have actually today you have Fate One coming on.
Yes.
So I had that single Problems. That was the most collabs I did on a song so far. The reason why that song meant a lot to me is I remember growing up, I used to listen to like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
And he used to be able to bring all these different type of artists, and they'd go on this one beat, and they'd bring all of their styles to this one beat. So I have him on that track. I have Splash on that track. I have Santana Freco on that track. And then ABM Diz, who's also from Lowell. These are all artists in Lowell. So that was the collab on that one. I have the On My Way. That one's gonna come out with a music video too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So that's with an artist from Fall River, your boy Loco. Me and him are actually talking because of how that track sounds to me. I think me and him are going to be working on a lot more projects together.
Oh, cool.
We just balance out on a track. Like I come up with some like loud stuff, and then he just like mellows out the track, which was really cool for me.
Yeah.
Which other ones? Today I have a collaboration that's going to be with J Beach. He is my best friend since I was like probably like 16. Like we're really close friends. Nowadays that we are adults, obviously, like we spend a lot more time apart and everything like that. But anytime that we come together and we're rapping, it's just a different environment. So
yeah,
that's what I've appreciated from him. So On My Way, Problems.
Was Snapchat? Was that just you on that one?
Yeah.
That was Jenny's favorite.
Yeah, no, that one's actually coming out with a music video too as well.
Oh, cool.
Really like that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm actually collaborating with this person, his the One Eye Visuals right out in Lowell.
Yes.
That's gonna be, so we are gonna shoot 10 reels in one day, and then we're also shooting 3 music videos, all within like a 3-week span.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I'll have 13 different videos that I could play around with.
Oh, wow.
And hold in my pocket. So then I'm just gonna start dropping those once the fall starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it difficult when you have all this, as you said, in your pocket, when you've got kind of things that you can release on kind of a timetable? Does that take some discipline to do that? Because I could just imagine if you've got certain things that you're particularly excited about releasing, but obviously you don't just want to put it out there all at once.
Yeah.
But that must be kind of tough when it's like, oh, I can't wait to put this out, but I can't do it yet.
Yes. That is kind of like the most important thing you could do for yourself as an artist. Like,
yeah,
you want to put out good songs, don't get me wrong, but like you'll make these certain songs, and you're like, that needs to be held till I'm in a better position.
Yeah.
And you have to get yourself in that better position. I feel like I have a few songs that I've dropped when I first started that I should have just held for a little bit, because as people saw me grow as an artist, and if I dropped this song, it would have been like, oh, wow, okay. And that eagerness is kind of why I strayed away for dropping for so long. But then I was like, I haven't dropped in a while. Let's drop. I have a whole bunch of songs. Right now, I probably have over 50 to 60 songs ready.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So I was like, let me just drop 10 singles and learn myself as an artist. It wasn't, yes, as an artist, I wanted a lot of people to listen to this, but I wanted to learn myself, my patterns. So like, when I drop a song, am I following through with a reel after? Am I doing this? Like, what will create the most success for each single? And I do kind of see a process that is actually going to work out for me.
Yeah. And where I'm sure we talked about this last time, but I'm always really, really curious. Where do you record? Is there a studio that you work out of? Do you record from home or what?
Yes. So I work right out of a Stupid Genius Studios that's right in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And then I also work with Mr. Goodbars, of course.
Oh, yes.
And more recently, who I'm going to be working with is going to be Knox Beats. Have you ever heard the song Isis by Joyner Lucas and Logic?
I don't think I have.
Okay. He also has the song I'm Not Racist.
Yes, that one I'm very familiar with. There was a lot of, I remember when that came out. Yeah.
So he's the producer behind those tracks.
Okay.
So before Joyner was like, he met Joyner whenever he was going to the same like grind mode ciphers that I was going to. And Joyner really wasn't an artist.
Yeah.
And then they started working together. And obviously Joyner put his work, but the way that this artist produced, the way that he listens to beats and everything like that. We actually had our first consulting meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
He's heard even tracks that I've put out in the last 10 weeks, and he just has all these different ideas, and that's what I need. And like, I'm a creative genius myself, but I don't have the years and everything like that behind what's popular. Like he will hear a drum beat and be like, that sounds like a pattern from 2017. You shouldn't be using that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean a pattern from 17? And he's like, no, in 2017 they were doing this.
Yeah.
Now they're doing this. If you want to be on like if you're on the algorithm correctly, you have to do it this way. And just little stuff like that, little tweaks like that. That's what makes the difference between the greats and everything.
Yeah, things that most people wouldn't even consider.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting that the way some people can, and again, it's through experience, as you were saying, how they can pick up on the subtleties of that and things that most people probably wouldn't even notice. I remember having a conversation with DJ Reckless. I don't know if you know DJ Reckless.
Yeah,
Christian. He's our adopted son, so to speak. But he had done. I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about it, but I don't think it matters. He had done a remix of Nate Smith. I think that's his name. World on Fire, the country song. He had done a remix, but I think he had done it with somebody else, and he played it for me, and it was so good. It was like a EDM remix of it, and it was really, really good. But and I was like, you got to put that out, or you got to put it up somewhere. I asked him, can I play that on the show? It's really catchy.
Yeah.
And the remix he did was very well done. And he was like, I don't know, it kind of sounds like 4 years ago. And I'm like, 4 years ago, whatever. It sounds great, you know. But he was very unsure of it, about
exactly.
putting it out.
Little things like that, like and it's maybe what I'm thinking about it, just looking from the outside in, like, it's not like music nowadays isn't good, but like the music that I latched onto was a little bit older music.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear like these beats and everything, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But I'm not thinking about the marketing. I'm not thinking about all those little things that are going to make me different. Be like, because that already came out. I don't want to be something that already came out. You want to be something brand new that people are going to be like, oh, I've never heard that before.
Right. Is there a risk of overthinking that?
Yes, because then you don't want to be an artist that's too creative. So it's nothing against him at all, but like we have somebody like Kanye, where he has always been dropping, and he's always had success with his drops, but more recently, like with Vultures too, he released it, but he's releasing it as something that he's editing constantly, and never put any like the marketing behind it.
Yeah.
So it was never even like these sounds are something that people want to hear. So we're not even driving around listening to any of these songs. In my growing up, my life, anytime that Kanye has dropped, he's been on the radio for the next like month of my life.
Right.
And now like being too creative will just make people like just look at you, and then they look at you and then they look away because it's not something that they're ready to look at yet. You have to be relevant. Like, it's like a beat that sounds like 2029 is not going to help me right now in 2024.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I wonder, I mean, so were you always kind of thinking about that, or is this something you've, like you mentioned, I'm sorry, what's his name again? The producer, Knox.
Yeah.
Or is this something you got from him, or did you kind of already sort of have a feeling for that?
I couldn't put it in words.
Yeah.
But I'd like hear certain songs of mine. I'm like, that's a really good song, but
yeah,
like, well, I don't know why I don't want to release it. Like, like even like a lot of like my lyrical stuff. Like, I have a lot of lyrical stuff that I haven't put out because I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to release that.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's more of you have to establish your voice first. It's not like gain popularity. No, you have to establish your voice as somebody that people want to listen to.
Yeah.
Once people want to listen to you, you can hit them with the creative stuff here and there and test the waters.
Yeah.
But when you're getting into like that water, you don't want to just like drown yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you have to like slowly step into the water, feel it, make sure that your body can adjust to it, and get used to that environment. And then you can be the fastest swimmer in the world. Right.
Right. Yeah. These 10 singles that you've put out, did any of them kind of surprise you in terms of, because some of them are obviously collaborations. Mm-hmm. Did any of these kind of surprise you in how they came out? Did they come out differently than what you had initially envisioned? Because obviously when you're working with other people, there's always that chance that something's going to come out really different.
Yeah. So for me, it was the On My Way single. Because for me, I was going at that like da 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 da. And then he like, with his verse, he was like, hold up, wait. And then he just like brings you down. And I was like, I didn't hear the beat that way.
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be like, we're getting everybody hyped up, and then there was a way to bring it like have your voice in a different octave, and like make it like all right, we partied, let's calm down, I'm on my way.
Yeah. Who's kind of your, obviously you're very open to collaboration, and and you're working with people who are really advanced in the industry now. Do you have kind of like a dream collaboration, maybe someone you want to record with, or maybe a producer that you really want to work with? Just like, do you have somebody in mind who you really want to work with?
So I have two people. One's a possibility. One is I'm working towards. So I have working towards would be Millie's. Right out of Boston, because that's a great artist. But actually recently got in touch with Jadakiss' son's management.
Oh, no kidding.
And I got a quote on the collaboration and everything like that. The numbers look amazing for like who he is.
Yeah.
So, and I just found out that he had a son that could rap. I was like,
yeah,
wait, what? And he's like young like me and everything like that. So I got in touch with his manager and everything like that. So somewhere towards the beginning of next year is what I think I'm gonna do a song with Jadakiss' son.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So
outstanding.
But Millie's, that's somebody that I really do want to work with. He's a local artist. He helps people out and everything like that, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I had this song that I released on my first EP called Right Now. And that was with GMT Mark B, and he ended up doing a song. We're the ones who brought Millie's out. He did a song with one of Millie's people. So I'm just kind of I'm letting that song have its thing, because I don't want to be like, I want to take your shine.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna reach out and be like, hey, how did this happen? Because I just need to get in contact with these people.
Yeah. Now we kind of assume that a lot of the people who listen to our show, because of the guests that we have on and the conversations that we have, that a lot of them are musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have kind of advice for people who maybe are just starting out, or maybe you have been doing it for a while, but who have made a lot of mistakes? Because, you're on such a positive forward trajectory.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of people, and you can just look at social media and see, a lot of people, they feel like they get stuck. Some people, they've been at it for a while and they feel like giving up because they don't feel like they're advancing anywhere. They're not getting anywhere. Do you have any advice for people who are kind of going through that, or maybe just somebody really young, just starting out, and you want to kind of maybe some pearls of wisdom on mistakes not to make and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. And I think it goes back to that conversation I had with Knox Beats, which really just changed my mind a lot about things. So you want to not limit your capability to the visibility you're getting on social media.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of legwork that you can do outside of that for yourself as an artist. Well, like that immediate social media.
Yeah.
There's different avenues. Like if you want to like produce beats, you could go on like BeatStar. You can make your own independent accounts away from your friends and like your family, so that way you're not scaling your success based upon how your immediate community is reacting.
Mm-hmm. And
that's what I feel like. When I did take that little break, I was like, my immediate community, I don't think they want me to be rapping. And when I started again, the immediate community is like, why'd you stop?
Yeah.
Those little things, like you don't want to scale yourself. People will support you and support you and support you, but then you have to go find different support.
Yes.
You don't want to just have that, like your initial support system. That's an amazing thing. Don't get me wrong, but you need to constantly be looking and trying to put yourself out there. Like I said, target instead, like it gives you the option when you're like, don't get bots. Go directly to the source. If you're going through like a Facebook, going through an Instagram, going through a TikTok, and they ask you where you want your ads to be.
Yeah.
Don't put it in your local neighborhood. See what attention you could get from strangers, because even when I first started, I was doing songs with people like in Florida that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
And I've never met these people. We just when I stopped, we just randomly stopped talking and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I felt better whenever I was releasing music as something like for me and something that I was willing to put out for myself, because that's when you'll go the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start putting something out and then you look over and be like, did I do a good job? It's eventually somebody might be like tired one day.
Right.
It was all right. Like I actually didn't listen to it, or like those little comments will start getting to you and start eating you out.
Yeah.
So the value of your success should never be based upon your immediate community.
Right. Yeah. I think that's good advice. Yeah. And you always want to be expanding your fan base, expanding.
Exactly. Because then like you'll find yourself like, if the same people don't react, you'll just like be like, all right. I guess I'll stop because like these people don't like it anymore. Not knowing like you could put up a video 10, 15 times
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to hit the 15th. You just got to keep doing your reps.
Yeah. I think that's really good advice. Yeah, you mentioned when you had taken a break before, and I think we talked about that too the last time you were here.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. Was that because you were discouraged at the time, or were you just doing other things? Or
Mixture of like, so my lifestyle at the time, I was like partying and everything like that. I got caught up in that world.
yeah,
And then I just would like with the people like I was partying with and hanging out every day, I didn't hear them talking about like my music or anything like that. So
Yeah.
like, maybe it's not doing as good as I thought. So then I just like randomly, it was no announcement or anything like that, because I feel like is probably actually a really damaging thing that you could do to yourself as an artist. If you're gonna stop,
mm-hmm.
just stop, because you don't know if you'll come back.
Right.
But if you start disappointing people, they won't come back.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No. Well said.
Yeah.
I always butcher his name. I'm so sorry. Abdel Baghi Hamad is in the chat room and says, "Good evening, Mr. Matt. What time is it now in New Hampshire? Here in Egypt, it is 4 p.m.
Oh, we got Egypt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. We've got 9:27 a.m. Eastern time here.
We're everywhere. You're on Tomorrow Radio in Ireland too.
I'm in Ireland.
Stream us anywhere.
I think it's evening or late afternoon, perhaps around Ireland right now.
Wow.
I have no idea.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Hans Smith from the band Sepsis is in the chat room. Says, "Hey, Metal Matt." Hans is asking, what inspired you to get into music?
My dad. So when we first moved to America, I actually like remember the first rap song I heard was probably Bow Wow.
Oh, no kid. You remember what song?
Bow Wow Wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Well, I'd like remember that because
okay, yeah.
Like we had just moved to America and everything like that. We had just gotten like TV and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad, he called me. I was like in the room or something like that. He called me over. He's like, George, check this out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's young like you. Da-da-da. And like Bow Wow is a year apart from me. So like that gave me like a scale. I was like, oh wow, that's cool what he's doing. And then he started playing Nas for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. I remember we talked about that before. Yeah. Love Nas.
He had this one DVD that Nas put out that he bought at Best Buy. It was the Hate Me Now music video. It was like back in the day, they used to come out with music videos behind the scenes. It was a whole different thing, like making that was a TV show actually on MTV.
Yeah.
So like I'd watch that over and over again. And then so my mom found out that I was listening to rap music. It was like, no, because we are like a religious family and some content can affect people.
Yeah.
And so it just became something I listened to like on my own. And then my friend in my freshman year of high school, his name was Cody. He told me that he could record music with a Rock Band mic. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you just plug the USB into your computer just like you would like anything else. And then you can use this program called Audacity. So I went and I got the instrumental for I'm Still Fly by Drake.
Yeah.
And then I recorded that was the first like recorded song, was a remix to I'm Still Fly by Drake.
Oh, wow.
I recorded that and then I showed it to my dad, and my dad's like, okay, so make a CD and I'll get you the CDs. And so then I made a whole little like mixtape thing because that was what was popular at the time for rappers. Like you made mixtapes.
Yep.
So I got 100 CDs. I forget the website I got it from, but I got 100 CDs, and then they sold out. And I was like, Dad, I sold out. And he's like, what? And he's like, you sold out. So I was like, all right, we'll get some more. And then so we got some more, and then like I did that till like I pretty much should have realized, like I sold to everybody that was willing to buy.
Yeah.
At this point, I sold like 300 CDs for my first
Wow.
release, which was, looking back, I'm like, wow. Like,
yeah,
I was 14, 15 years old, just
that's
in
fantastic.
school with a box of CDs. Like, who wants these?
Yep.
And people were buying them, and people still bring that up. Like, remember whenever you sold me a CD?
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Heather Stockwell is in the chat room and says, did you ask about the name Hope? How did that name come about? Where does he derive Hope from personally? Oh, great question, Heather.
Okay, perfect. So Hope was the second name I chose. So when I first got into music itself, like producing music itself, it was so I was into rap because of my dad, but producing music, I got into DJing.
Yeah.
So I was DJ unsigned minor. And then at a certain point, I told myself, that's not marketable.
I kind of like it. That's kind of cool.
Like for me, I was like, you're not going to be a minor forever.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Turning into like, I think I was turning like 13, 14. I'm like, no, you're getting older now.
Right.
You're a teenager. You're not a minor.
Right.
But I was still a minor, obviously.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking of like different names, and I was like, what do I want to talk about? Like in the end of the day, like if I'm going to like have a rap name, it has to be something I talk about.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just decided most of my raps are going to be more of a positive, hopeful message.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hope the Rapper. And then I was upset, actually, because a year or two after I came out with Hope the Rapper, Chance the Rapper came out.
Yes.
And I was like, I thought I was so creative, and he blew up before me.
Right. Right.
So like I was, for my own, to just remind myself, I came out with Hope the Rapper first. I always look up like when he came out, and then like when I came out, I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not going crazy.
Yeah. I can relate to that a little bit because, you know, with the name of the radio show, whenever I see Unleashed and the name of somebody's radio show or podcast, I'm like, oh,
It's like I did that.
yeah. But the good news is, you know, it's extremely unlikely that I'm ever going to find another Matt Connarton Unleashed because
Exactly.
there actually is another Matt Connarton
Really?
in New Hampshire. Yeah. But he's my uncle, so it kind of
okay.
doesn't count. Yeah.
Family.
Yes. Yes. Hans is also asking, do you have a favorite song of all time? He lists a few genres here: metal, hip hop, or reggae. I don't know if you listen to metal at all, but although hanging out with Mr. Goodbars, you might have heard some stuff.
Yeah, no, I've heard metal, and
he produces everything. He's like the most diverse producer I've ever met.
When I first it was a while. Me and him were just like internet friends, and then, like I went to his studio for the first time, and I realized his diversity. I'm like, this man's creative. He's not just. It's not just a rapper I'm looking at. This is a musician. Like,
yeah.
He can play it all. He can
know.
produce it all. He can rap. He can like just get it.
Yeah.
But so I can say metal is just a category that I've been just getting into. One of my employees at work, Gavin, he like just has been introduced me to artists because I'm trying to have more of like an open mind when it comes to music.
Yeah.
No Woman, No Cry if we're talking reggae.
Yeah.
And rap music, that would be. That's a hard one.
It probably changes, right? Over time,
so if I were to say, I know I can. Is that I don't know if I can. I know I can by Nas.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a song because if I think back to like really like looking at that music video and everything like that at the time, like Hard Knock Life came out, that song came out, but that song a little resonated with me a little bit more, and just hearing like the kids in the background, like, I want to be on a song that big one day.
Yeah,
maybe not the kid in the background, but I want to be on a song that big one day.
Yeah, I think my favorite is it kind of changes over time, but I think Jay-Z, 99 Problems.
Oof, that beat. Once you hear that guitar, it's just like different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin did an amazing job on that. And,
yeah.
I thought I saw another question in there, but maybe not. Oh no, I guess not. But you, as far as producing now, currently though, everything's pretty much self-produced, right? I mean, obviously when you're collaborating with people, but I mean the songs like Snapchat, that's just you on that, right? Did you do that all yourself?
No, so that I have a producer that I work with close. His name's Chaz.
Oh, okay.
He actually runs the Stupid Genius Studios.
Oh, right.
So self-producing, I like do that like on my own right now. I'm really learning how to like get that down. But I found like whenever like I was first releasing music, that was like a stress factor for me.
Yeah.
And like I'd have a really good song, but I listened to it so many times. I'm just like,
Yeah.
But like having like for me having it like that producer there for me, we bounce off ideas back and forth. So like Snapchat like started out with like a different like tone and everything like that, and he's like, bring it up a little bit, like, and we did those little tweaks to the song.
Yeah.
And just having that creative mind in the studio with me bouncing ideas back and forth has been the most helpful for me.
Yeah. It's interesting because some people are kind of the opposite where they can't, and maybe some people, I think maybe it's ego, or they just, or they get nervous letting someone else, have any control over anything. But some people can only self-produce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
because
absolutely.
it's like they can't let anybody else in.
Yeah, no, it's overwhelming, and like that too. So like I 100% was there, but then I was just thinking about for me my like releasing the music. Like I want to be able to not really necessarily, basically, have no effort. And like I spent all this time recording, because when I write and like stuff like that, if I'm like actually writing and not just like rapping as I go, it's a research process for me. Like I look up references and everything like that because I want it to be complete.
Yeah.
So I'll look up, like if I say something about like a bottle of water, I'll look up like the history of water and try to come up with a line for the next line.
Yep.
Based on what I've learned.
Yeah.
So it if you like look at it lyrically, you could actually learn a lot.
Are there other artists who do that, who have said that they do it that way? Because there are some people you listen to and you think, how do they come up with these words?
No. So that I feel like that's an untalked about world.
Yeah.
In the rap world, like, how'd you write this? Like, what were you doing? Because like, I think as an artist, we think like there's some songs that like it'll sound like the happiest song in the world, but you weren't in the right place whenever you wrote that song. Like you were trying to get yourself out of that,
right?
And that song's what helped.
Right.
So I think talking about that's an interesting question that you asked about that, because like talking about the writing process, I don't think I've ever sat down with another rapper and be like, what were you doing whenever like you wrote this? Like what's your process?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, it's like the secret recipe.
Yeah. I've always been kind of fascinated by that and the memory skills that it must take, that I assume you just develop over time, right?
Yeah, no. So the memory skills are interesting because I wonder how other rappers do it. Me, because I've had a history with music. I'll use like parts of like the beat, the tone, and everything like that. I'm like, once it drops an octave, that's when my voice starts.
Yeah.
And I have a song that I was writing recently that like I wrote it in my car because I could hear it a certain way, and then I went to go play it in some different speakers, and I didn't hear that drop.
Yeah.
And everything was off, and it took me a while to like get myself back to that point. So it can backfire.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've played in rock bands, and a rock song, you got 2 or 3 verses, maybe 4 lines in each. It's easy. You just learn it. It's if you listen to it a few times, you know the lyrics. But a hip hop song, it's like there's a lot of words. That's something I've always been really fascinated by. And I think too, and I've had this argument with people because somebody specific does come to mind, and Jenny probably knows who I'm thinking of. There's someone we know in particular who's very critical of hip hop, who just doesn't like it. But the thing that I've always told people too is, one of the things that rappers don't get enough credit for is just being able to remember all those words. And then being able to recall that and deliver those words, especially like battle rappers.
Yeah,
like
those.
And they show up prepared with all that. Like, how do they remember all that? That's amazing to me. It must be like memorizing dialogue from a movie script. Because I can't imagine being able to do that either. And I think I have a pretty good memory, but I don't know how actors manage to do that. I'm fascinated by that.
that I'm fascinated. So me, I would have to say the reasons why my raps make sense is because of like the memory part. Because like I'll remember like the storyline behind as I'm rapping. Maybe not everybody is able to see it, but I always have like a different vision. Battle rappers to me though are some of not if not the most like influential for me because like they have no beat. They're just there telling a story and they don't miss a beat. I'm actually funny you mentioned battle rappers next Saturday or next next Saturday. I'm actually opening up for one of the biggest battle rappers in the world in Massachusetts. His name's Charlie Clips.
Yes, his name came up recently. I think when we were talking with Good Bars, actually, his name came up, and I ended up going on because I'm really fascinated by that stuff. So I found some of like what was the I think did he battle Daylight?
Yeah.
I think that was one of the ones I watched. Daylight, I'm kind of fascinated by.
Yeah, he's Daylight. A lot of people don't give him credit. Like I get it, he's a little weird, but like he writes for a lot of industry rappers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you look up his accreditation, there's songs that you wouldn't think that Daylight wrote, and he wrote that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like he might. So at first I was like kind of unwilling to accept it because of like how abstract it was, like we were talking about earlier. But then I realized like, no, he's just doing that because he can.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah. No, he's talks about things that like you will have to do research, and then once you do the research, you're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, those guys are fascinating to me. I recently saw some battle raps on YouTube. A guy named and then I found out he was just murdered. Pat Stay.
Yeah.
From Toronto.
Yeah. No, Pat Stay. I
saw a couple of his, and then so I looked up more about him, and I'm like, oh my god, he died. He's like 36 or something, like super young. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, Pat Stay. I'm not sure if it was him or Diabolic, but Eminem actually made a movie on battle rap, another movie on battle rap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Him or Diabolic are in it, and it's about a young kid who's just like a middle school student or a high school student, and he just is trying to make it in the battle rap world. So it's like very 8 Mile-ish. Yeah. But I think you could see it actually on Tubi.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, no, it's a really good a lot. I'm surprised that Eminem didn't get it on Netflix or something.
Yeah,
like that,
I didn't even know about it.
Recently just came out and it's really good. Yeah. So.
I'll be damned. Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, my favorite is my all-time. I go back and watch it every once in a while. Cortez versus Daylight.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, you got to see it. It's really
that's gonna be my ride.
Cortez is amazing too. Yeah. Cortez is just so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's that King of the Dot, who apparently they're still around.
Yeah, they're actually gonna be.
They're in Lawrence, right? They do like some stuff in Lawrence.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing a battle soon, and within like the next 2 weeks with the Talk of the Town folks.
Oh, okay, with Gizzy Hendrix.
Yeah,
yeah, he was interesting to talk to. He's got a lot going on. But have you been on his podcast yet?
Yeah.
You have been. Okay.
Yeah. So little side interviews at his shows because I mainly collaborate with him for a lot of shows. Yeah. So we got one show this month, one show next month. So his work ethic. That's why it's an amazing person to have in your circle because he just goes and goes and goes and goes and like he sees the vision. Like it's tunnel vision for that, and that's the kind of tunnel vision I want to try to adapt.
Yeah, because I looked online and I was like, oh, he makes a lot of content. He's very, very busy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And outside of that, he's working too. So it's crazy.
Yeah. But that's what it takes, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So no, good for him. Good for him. So now what's so we've done the 10 weeks, but you did mention so you have another single you're working on now, or
yes. So that single I'm really excited for. It's just got the final version this week. So one thing about music is, like I said, my mom, we've grown up in a Christian home. She just kept it together that way. And so she's always asked me to make like a Christian song.
Yeah, you had mentioned that last time you were here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this one song. One of the first people when I was on that Rock Band mic to get me off the Rock Band mic, he brought me to the Boys and Girls Club in Nashua, which has a studio for the kids to use.
Oh, it does? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's shout outs to the Boys and Girls Club in Nashua because that place gave me a lot of hope because it was the first place I saw a soundboard. It's the first place I saw an actual booth.
Oh.
And so Rich Rhymes, or it's CS Lit now. His name was Rich Rhymes, CS Lit. He brought me there and like got memberships, and then that just became somewhere that that's how I got from the rock band mic to the booth.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that studio's still there?
Yeah, the studio's still there. It's in the teen room. So if like you're a teenager and you're in Nashville, New Hampshire, and you're looking to make music and you don't know necessarily what to do, you go to the boys club and there's a spot for you.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Do they have somebody there? I assume they have someone there who kind of shows the kids how to.
Yeah.
There must be some sort of a class, right, that they offer to.
I don't think there was a class, but there is like an in-house producer.
Yeah.
But like
that's awesome.
The awesome part is so like, yes, it would be cool to have an in-house producer and everything like that. We were left alone to learn a lot of that.
Yeah.
On our own. So like we learned how to mix and master on our own.
But that can be an advantage long term too. When you're forced to figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're 16 years old. Somebody puts Fruity Loops in front of you, and you're just like,
yep.
I mean, I have everything I can to make this song. So if I want to make it, this is how I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And for listeners who don't know, Fruity Loops is a recording program. Some people might think you're talking about cereal.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first time people were like, "Did you get Fruity Loops?" And I'm just like looking at you. I'm like, I'm asking how to make music.
Right.
I was literally imagining you looking at a bottle of celery.
Right. Yeah. What do I do with this?
I love Fruit Loops.
I know. Honestly, one of my favorite cereals. So
oh, really? Yeah. Well, so the time goes quickly, and this 10 weeks flew by.
Yeah,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we were able to do that. And again, going forward, anything, if we'd love to
absolutely
be the first to premiere it. Anything that you put out, absolutely.
I'll probably send that song to you guys that I'm dropping. I think in like 2 weeks.
Oh, please, yeah, awesome. And what else should we know? Do you have any shows coming up or anything you want to?
So next Saturday, have the show with Charlie Clips. That's in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with the Talk of the Town folks, and you can go on Talk of the Town's Facebook page to get some more information on that. Next month it's going to be interesting, a One Eye Visuals versus Talk of the Town is completely friendly.
Yeah.
But like artists that work with like typically perform with Talk of the Town, artists that typically perform with One Eye Visuals. We're going to be in Lowell, Massachusetts, doing a show over at the Smokehouse.
Cool.
And then other than that, what I'm going to be doing for myself is I'm dropping a lot of videos. So
yeah.
Expect a lot of videos, a lot of content, proper marketing towards every single one.
Yeah.
And just really elevating things to the next level and working on image control.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And where should people go online to keep up with everything that you're doing?
So Instagram is Hope the Rap. You could look up Hope the Rapper on Facebook. TikTok would also be Hope the Rap. And TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And then you could always look up my music videos on YouTube too as well. Hope the Rapper. I do have a new music video called Fourth and Gold that came out a couple months ago.
Yep.
Shot those with actually people that work with Joyner Lucas. So it's
wow.
nice to align myself with people that brought somebody else to the next level.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. And in a moment, we'll end the segment with, we'll play it again, Eviction Notice, the brand new single.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing everything that you do in the future. Always wonderful to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for having my friends on. This is a great platform.
Oh, absolutely. Glad to do it.